Quebec, also Quebec, City of Quebec, Quebec City, or Quebec City, is the capital of the province of Quebec in Canada. In 2015 the city had a population of 540,994 and the metropolitan area had a population of 806,400, making it Canada's 10th largest city but Quebec's second largest city, after Montreal, which is about 233 kilometers to the southwest. The narrowing of the St. Lawrence River proximate to the city's promontory, Cap-Diamant, and Vi's on the opposite bank, provided the name given to the city, Bec, an Algonquin word meaning, where the river narrows. Founded in 1608 by Samuel de Champlain, Quebec City is one of the oldest cities in North America. The ramparts surrounding Old Quebec are the only fortified city walls remaining in the Americas north of Mexico, and were declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985 as the Historic District of Old Quebec. According to the federal and provincial governments, Quebec is the city's official name in both French and English, although Quebec City is commonly used, particularly to distinguish the city from the province. In French, the names of the province and the city are distinguished grammatically in that the province takes the definite article and the city does not. The city's famous landmarks include the Château Frontenac, a hotel which dominates the skyline, and La Citadelle, an intact fortress that forms the centerpiece of the ramparts surrounding the old city. The National Assembly of Quebec, the Musée National des Beaux-Arts du Québec, and the Musée de la Civilisation are found within and near Quebec. History. Early history. Quebec City is one of the oldest European settlements in North America. While many of the major cities in Latin America date from the 16th century, among cities in Canada and the U.S., few were created earlier than Quebec City. Also, Quebec's Old Town is the only North American fortified city north of Mexico whose walls still exist. French explorer Jacques Cartier built a fort at the site in 1535, where he stayed for the winter before going back to France in spring 1536. He came back in 1541 with the goal of building a permanent settlement. This first settlement was abandoned less than 1 year after its foundation, in the summer 1542, due in large part to the hostility of the natives combined with the harsh living conditions during winter. Quebec was founded by Samuel de Champlain, a French explorer and diplomat, on the 3rd of July 1608, and at the site of a long-abandoned street, Lawrence Iroquoian settlement called Stadacona. Champlain, also called the Father of New France, served as its administrator for the rest of his life. The name Canada refers to this settlement. Although called the cradle of the Francophone population in North America, the Acadian settlement at Port Royal was established 3 years earlier. The place seemed favorable to the establishment of a permanent colony. In 1629 there was the surrender of Quebec, without battle, to English privateers led by David Kirke during the 30 Years' War. However, Samuel de Champlain argued that the English seizing of the lands was illegal as the war had already ended. He worked to have the lands returned to France, as part of the ongoing negotiations of their exit from the Anglo-French War. In 1632 the English King Charles agreed to return the lands in exchange for Louis XIII paying his wife's dowry. These terms were signed into law with the Treaty of Saint-Germain-en-Laye. The lands in Quebec and Acadia were returned to the French Company of 100 Associates. In 1665, there were 550 people in 70 houses living in the city. 1/4 of the people were members of religious orders, secular priests, Jesuits, Ursulines nuns and the order running the local hospital, Hotel Dieu. Quebec City was the headquarters of many raids against New England during the 4 French and Indian Wars. In the last war, the French and Indian War, Quebec City was captured by the British in 1759 and held until the end of the war in 1763. It was the site of 3 battles during 7 Years' War: the Battle of Beauport, a French victory; the Battle of the Plains of Abraham, in which British troops under General James Wolfe defeated the French General Louis-Joseph de Montcalm on 13 September 1759 and shortly thereafter took the city; and the final Battle of Saint-Foy, a French victory. France ceded New France, including the city, to Britain in 1763. At the end of French rule in 1763, forests, villages, fields and pastures surrounded the town of 8,000 inhabitants. The town distinguished itself by its monumental architecture, fortifications, affluent homes of masonry and shacks in the suburbs of Saint-Jean and Saint-Roch. Despite its urbanity and its status as capital, Quebec City remained a small colonial city with close ties to its rural surroundings. Nearby inhabitants traded their farm surpluses and firewood for imported goods from France at the 2 city markets. British rule during the American Revolution. Revolutionary troops from the southern colonies assaulted the British garrison in an attempt to liberate Quebec City, in a conflict now known as the Battle of Quebec. The defeat of the revolutionaries from the south put an end to the hopes that the peoples of Quebec would rise and join the American Revolution, so that Canada would join the Continental Congress and become part of the original United States of America along with the other British colonies of continental North America. In effect, the outcome of the battle would be the effective split of British North America into 2 distinct political entities. The city itself was not attacked during the War of 1812, when the United States again attempted to annex Canadian lands, fearing another American attack on Quebec City in the future. Construction of the Citadel of Quebec began in 1820. The Americans never did attack Canada after the War of 1812, but the citadel continued to house a large British garrison until 1871. The citadel is still in use by the military and is also a tourist attraction. In 1840, the role of capital was shared between Kingston, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, and Quebec City. Long before the Royal Military College of Canada was established in 1876, there were proposals for military colleges in Canada, staffed by British regulars. Adult male students underwent a 3-month-long military course in Quebec City in 1864 at the School of Military Instruction in Quebec City, established by Militia General Order in 1864. The school enabled officers of militia or candidates for commission or promotion in the militia to learn military duties, drill and discipline, to command a company at battalion drill, to drill a company at company drill, the internal economy of a company and the duties of a company's officer. The school was retained at Confederation in 1867. In 1868, the School of Artillery was formed in Montreal. In 1867, Ottawa was chosen by Queen Victoria to be the capital of the Dominion of Canada. The Quebec Conference on Canadian Confederation was held here. 20th and 21st centuries. Quebec City was struck by the 1925 Charlevoix-Kamouraska earthquake. During World War II, 2 conferences were held in Quebec City. The first Quebec Conference was held in 1943 with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, William Lyon Mackenzie King and T.V. Soong. The second Quebec Conference was held in 1944, and was attended by Churchill and Roosevelt. They took place in the buildings of the Citadel and of nearby Chateau Frontenac. A large part of the D-Day landing plans were made during those meetings. Capital throughout its over 400 years of existence, which were celebrated around the world. Quebec City has served as a capital from 1608 to 1627 and 1632 to 1763. It was capital of French Canada and all of New France from 1763 to 1791. It was the capital of the province of Quebec from 1791 to 1841. It was the capital of Lower Canada from 1852 to 1856 and from 1859 to 1866. It was capital of the province of Canada, and since 1867 it has been capital of the province of Quebec. The administrative region in which Quebec City is situated is officially referred to as Capitale Nationale, and the term national capital is used to refer to Quebec City itself at provincial level. Geography. Quebec City is located in the St. Lawrence River Valley, on the north bank of the St. Lawrence River near its meeting with the St. Charles River. The surrounding area is low-lying and flat. The river valley has rich, arable soil, which makes this region the most fertile in the province. The Laurentian Mountains lie to the north of the city. A portion of the city, as well as most of the old Quebec area, is built on a plateau sometimes called the promontory of Quebec. Because of this topographic feature, the central and oldest area of the city is sometimes divided into Upper and Lower Town. On the eastern end of the hill, Upper Town lies on the top of Cap-Diamant promontory. The Plains of Abraham are located near the edge of the promontory, on which high stone walls have been integrated during colonial days. On the other hand, Lower Town is located on the eastern foot of this plateau. It has been a working-class area for most of its history, unlike Uptown, which for the most part quickly became a place of choice for the local middle class and bourgeoisie. Climate. The climate of Quebec City is classified as humid continental. Quebec City experiences 4 distinct seasons. Summers are warm and occasionally hot, with periods of hotter temperatures which, compounded with the high humidity, create a high heat index that belie the average high of 22 to 25 degrees Celsius and lows of 11 to 13 degrees Celsius. Winters are often cold, windy and snowy, with average high temperatures -5 to -8 degrees Celsius and lows -13 to -18 degrees Celsius. Spring and fall, although short, bring chilly to warm temperatures. Late heat waves as well as Indian summers are a common occurrence. On average, Quebec City receives 1,190 mm of precipitation, of which 899 mm is rain and 303 mm is the melt from 316 cm of snowfall per annum. The city experiences around 1,916 hours of bright sunshine annually, a 41.5% of possible sunshine, with summer being the sunniest, but also slightly the wettest season. During winter, snow generally stays on ground from the end of November till mid-April. The highest temperature ever recorded in Quebec City was 36.1 degrees Celsius on the 17th of July 1953. The coldest temperature ever recorded was -36.7 degrees Celsius on the 10th of January, 1890 and the 14th of January 2015. Boroughs and districts on the 1st of January 2002. The 12 former towns of Saint Foy, Beauport, Charlesbourg, Sillery, Loretteville, Val-Belair, Cap-Rouge, Saint-Emile, Vanier, L'Ancienne-Loretta, Saint-Augustin-de-Desmaures and Lac-Saint-Charles were annexed by Quebec City. This was one of several municipal mergers which took place across Quebec on that date. Following a demerger referendum, L'Ancienne-Loretta and Saint-Augustin-de-Desmaures boroughs were reconstituted as separate municipalities on 1 January 2006, but the other former municipalities remain part of Quebec City. On 1 November 2009, the Quebec City reorganized its boroughs, reducing the number from 8 to 6. As of 2011, Quebec City has 35 districts in 6 boroughs. All districts are numbered, and most are named. In most cases, the name of the district is similar to a historical town or village it replaced, but not always. Districts each elect their own council, which are part of public consultations with the city government. The numbering system was based on the 2002 to 2009 borough boundaries. Suppose 2009, the numbers do not correspond completely with the boroughs. Compared to many other cities in North America, there is less variation between average household incomes between the districts. However, some disparities exist. Montcalm, Sillery, Cap Rouge, and the southern part of Saint Foy are considered to be the wealthiest, and all areas found west of Old Quebec along the banks of the St. Lawrence River. The city's traditional working-class areas are found in the lower town below Old Quebec and directly across the St. Charles River. However, parts of Limoilou and particularly St. Roch have seen gentrification in the last 20 years, attracting young professionals and the construction of new offices and condos. The central part of the city consists of industrial areas, while northern sections and eastern sections are mostly a mix of middle-class, residential suburbs. Demographics. According to Statistics Canada, there were 540,994 people residing in Quebec City proper, and 806,400 people in the metropolitan area in 2015. Of the former total, 48.2% were male and 51.8% were female. Children under 5 accounted for approximately 4.7% of the resident population of Quebec City. This compares with 5.2% in the province of Quebec, and 5.6% for Canada overall. The vast majority of city residents are native French speakers. The English-speaking community peaked in relative terms during the 1860s, when 40% of Quebec City's residents were Anglophone. Today, Anglophones make up only 1.5% of the population of both the city and its metropolitan area. However, the annual Quebec Winter Carnival attracts both Francophone and Anglophone tourists alike, so the Anglophone population increases considerably during the duration of the event. According to the Statistics Canada website, 94.55% of Quebec City's population speaks French as the mother tongue. In addition, more than a third of city residents can speak both French and English. In 2001, 13.0% of the resident population in Quebec City was of retirement age, compared with 13.2% in Canada. The average age is 39.5 years of age compared to 37.6 years of age for Canada as a whole. In the 5 years between 2006 and 2011, the population of Quebec City grew by 6.5%, compared with an increase of 4.9% for the province of Quebec. The population density of Quebec City averaged 228.6 inhabitants per square kilometre, compared with an average of 5.3 per square kilometres for the province as a whole. At the time of the 2001 census, the population of the Quebec City Authority was 682,757, but was 710,700 when encompassing the Greater Quebec City area, compared with a resident population in the province of Quebec of 7,237,479 people. In 2006, visible minorities made up 3% of the city's population, which is the smallest proportion of any major Canadian city. There has, however, been a growing growing number of newer arrivals from North and West Africa, as well as Latin America, who have settled in the city. Recent arrivals tend to be more concentrated in Limoilou, Vania, and the northern part of Saint Foy, where the availability of lower-cost apartments is higher than the rest of the city. According to the 2001 census, over 90% of the population was Roman Catholic. The city also contains small Protestant, Muslim, and Jewish communities. Economy. Most jobs in Quebec City are concentrated in public administration, defense, services, commerce, transport and tourism. As the provincial capital, the city benefits from being a regional administrative and services centre. Apropos, the provincial government is the largest employer in the city, employing 27,900 people as of 2007. CHUQ is the city's largest institutional employer, with more than 10,000 employees in 2007. In 2008, the unemployment rate in Quebec City was 4.5%, well below provincial and national averages. Around 10% of jobs are in manufacturing. Principal products include pulp and paper, processed food, metal, wood items, chemicals, electronics and electrical equipment, and printed materials. The city hosts the headquarters of a variety of prominent companies, including fashion retailer La Maison Simons, engineering firms BPR and Roche Limited, consulting group investment fund Commoner, Industrial Alliance, Low Capital, Promutual, SSQ Financial Group, and Union Canadienne in the insurance sector, Binox, Frema Studio, Sarbacan and Ubisoft in the computer games industry, Eternas Antares and Diagnocia in pharmaceuticals, Amalgamy, Cosset and Vision 7 in marketing and advertising, Institut National d'Optique, EXFO, Optos Security in technology, not forgetting the Desjardins Group, the area's largest employer in the financial sector. The security and defense industries are quite prominent, and have given birth to an industrial pole, technopole, defense and security. Architecture. Much of the city's most notable architecture is located east of the fortification walls in Vieux-Québec and Place Royal. This area has a distinct European feel with its stone buildings and winding streets lined with shops and restaurants. Port Street Louis and Port Street Jean have the main gates through the walls from the modern section of downtown. The Kent Gate was a gift to the province from Queen Victoria, and the foundation stone was laid by the Queen's daughter, Princess Louise, Marchioness of Lorne, on the 11th of June 1879. West of the walls of the Parliament Hill district and the Plains of Abraham, the Upper Town is linked by the Escalier-Cassécou and the Old Quebec funicular to the Lower Town, which includes such sites as the ancient Notre-Dame des Victoires Church, the historic Petit Champlain district, the port, and the Musée de la Civilisation. The Lower Town is filled with original architecture and street designs, dating back to the city's beginnings. Murals and statues are also featured. The Lower Town is also noted for its wide variety of boutiques, many featuring handcrafted goods. Quebec City's downtown is on the lower part of the town. Its epicenter is adjacent to the Old Town, spanning from the Saint-Roch district, throughout the Saint-Sauveur, Saint-Sacrement and Limoilou quarters. Some interpretations consider Quebec's downtown to be the central southern portion of the town, ranging from the Old City and Saint-Roch all the way west to the Quebec City Bridge. Quebec City's skyline is dominated by the massive Chateau Frontenac Hotel, perched on top of Cap-Diamant. It was designed by architect Bruce Price as one of a series of chateau-style hotels built for the Canadian Pacific Railway Company. The railway company sought to encourage luxury tourism and bring wealthy travelers to its trains. Alongside the Chateau Frontenac is the Terrace Dufferin, a walkway along the edge of the cliff, offering beautiful views of the St. Lawrence River. The terraced Dufferin leads toward the nearby Plains of Abraham, site of the battle in which the British took Quebec from France, and the Citadel of Quebec, a Canadian Forces installation and the federal viceregal secondary residence. The Parliament Building, the meeting place of the Parliament of Quebec, is also near the Citadel. Near the Château Frontenac is Notre Dame de Quebec Cathedral, Mother Church of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Quebec. It is the first church in the New World to be raised to a basilica and is the primatial church of Canada. There are 37 National Historic Sites of Canada in Quebec City and its enclaves. Culture. Quebec City is known for its Winter Carnival, its Summer Music Festival, and for its St. Jean-Baptiste Day celebrations. Tourist attractions located near Quebec City include Montmorency Falls, the Basilica of Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré, the Mont Saint-Anne Ski Resort, and the Ice Hotel. The Jardin Zoologique du Québec, now closed, initially reopened in 2002 after extensive repairs before ultimately shuttering in 2006. It featured 750 specimens of 300 different species of animals. The zoo specialized in winged fauna and garden themes, but also featured several species of mammals. While it emphasized the indigenous fauna of Quebec, one of its main attractions was the Indo-Australian greenhouse, featuring fauna and flora from regions surrounding the Indian Ocean. Parc Aquarium du Québec, which reopened in 2002 on a site overlooking the St. Lawrence River, features more than 10,000 specimens of mammals, reptiles, fish and other aquatic fauna of North America and the Arctic, polar bears and various species of seals of the Arctic sector and the large ocean, a large basin offering visitors a view from underneath, make up part of the aquarium's main attractions. There are a number of historic sites, art galleries and museums in Quebec City, including Citadel of Quebec, Musée National des Beaux-Arts du Québec, Ursulines of Quebec, and Musée de la Civilisation. Sports. As well as having a number of local sports teams, Quebec City has hosted a number of sporting events. The Special Olympics Canada National Winter Games was held in the city from the 26th of February to the 1st of March 2008. Quebec City co-hosted with Halifax, Nova Scotia, the 2008 IIHF World Championship. Regular sporting events held in the city include the Coupe Banque Nationale, a women's tennis association tournament, crashed ice, an extreme downhill skating race, Quebec City International Pee-wee Tournament, a minor hockey tournament, and the Tour de Quebec International cycling stage race. In December 2011, Quebec City hosted the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating final at the Pavillon de la Jeunesse at Expositec. The city has a professional baseball team called the Capitale de Quebec, which plays in the Canadian American Association of Professional Baseball. The team was established in 1999, and originally played in the Northern League. The team has 6 league titles, one in 2006, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 and 2013. The team's stadium is the Stade Municipal. Other teams include the local football team, the Rouge Namp, or the Université Laval, the junior hockey team, Quebec Remparts of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Canadian football teams, Quebec City Monarchs and Quebec City Rebels of La Ligue de Football de Quebec, the women's hockey team Quebec Phoenix of the Canadian Women's Hockey League, and soccer club Quebec Arsenal of the W League. The city had a hockey team, the Quebec Nordiques, which played in the World Hockey Association from 1972 1962 to 1979 and then in the National Hockey League from 1979 to 1995, maintaining a strong rivalry with the Montreal Canadiens. Due to a disadvantageous exchange rate with respect to the US dollar, the team moved to Denver, Colorado in 1995, becoming the Colorado Avalanche. The Quebec Remparts are a major junior team in the QMJHL and play in the Cola-CA Pepsi, a professional basketball team. The Quebec Cebs played in National Basketball League of Canada in 2011 but folded prior to the start of the 2012 season. The Videotron Centre has been built with the hope of getting an NHL franchise in Quebec City. The project was funded regardless of whether an NHL team arrives in Quebec City. It is also hoped that the arena can help Quebec City win a future Winter Olympics Games bid. It will replace Cola-CA Pepsi as the main arena in Quebec City. Government. The current mayor of Quebec City is Acute Gilles Lebaume. He was first elected in a special election on the 2nd of December 2007 following the death in office of André Boucher, and was subsequently re-elected in the municipal elections of 2009 and 2013. Jacques Jolicoeur of the Renouveau Municipal de Quebec party served as interim mayor between Boucher's death and a by-election. Quebec City is the seat of the judicial district of Quebec, one of the province's 36 judicial districts. Education. Université Laval is located in the western end of the city, in the borough of Sainte-Foy. However, the School of Architecture of Université Laval is located in Old Quebec. The main campus of the Université du Québec system is also located in Quebec City, including its specialized schools École nationale d'administration publique, Institut national de la recherche scientifique, and Téléacute Université. The distanced learning component of the Université du Québec network. Numerous CEGEPs are located in Quebec City, including Collège François-Xavier Garneau, CEAcute GEP O'Sullivan, CEAcute GEP Limoilou, CEAcute GEP de Sainte-Foy and Champlain College Street, Lawrence, as well as private institutions such as Campus Notre-Dame de Foy, College Merici, College Bart, College CDI and College Multihexa. Quebec City has the oldest educational institution for women in North America, the Ursulines of Quebec Monastery, located at 12 Rue Donnacona.